Hi, everybody. My name is Carol Teskey. I'm in the People Success team, and along with a number of my colleagues in the People group, we're here to answer any questions you have today. So, as always, in the agenda, there is a link to the deck. Please feel free to add your questions in for us to address.
I'm gonna make the bar low with asking a lame first question, but I want to prevent having the awkward sign, give people time to go through the deck if they haven't done so already. There's a goal here, and it's 90% striving for 100%. And I think one of the things is that we should be super clear about is setting goals at GitLab. And I think there's hardly any goal at GitLab where if the goal is 90% or 80%, where the intention is not to bring it to 100%. It's just like, yeah, we don't intentionally have like 5% of our customers dissatisfied with our service. It's just like, yeah, some people are going to say, yeah, I didn't like that answer from support I got. So I think it should be one number. I think, yes, it's logical that we strive for something higher, but we should be clear about what the goal is.
Yes. Yes, we're discussing that. I would agree with you that we pick one number.
And then, by the way, we still have some work to do in goal setting. Sometimes a goal is like, you want to be higher than that or higher. Sometimes it's that or lower. Sometimes it's around that percentage. For example, our bonus program is a good example of that. We want to be around 10%. We don't want to be at 30% because then we can't afford it. We don't want to be at 5% because then too few people are getting the recognition. And it's hard in the English language to kind of have that language. I think target is one of them. Then it's like that or higher. And then you have the floor or something or the top. And then a word for around that is escaping me anyway.
Like a happy medium? Is that what you mean? A happy medium?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like it should be around this. And then it's like, you're almost compelled to give a confidence interval, like, we want it around 10% or between. I guess if you wanted at 10%, you're going to say want it between 8 and 12% or something like that.
Yeah, and there's going to be some months where it goes higher and other times when it goes lower, but in our end. Hey, Hans, could you go on mute? There we go.
Yeah. Well, or Hans, turn on the video because it sounds like a party there.
Yeah, I'm actually sorry. I'm in the park. I'm baby minding. I must have unmuted myself by accident.
No problem. No problem. And then it's other people's children, so you can't really video that.
Thanks for asking the first question, Sid. And yes, we'll work on that one.
Thanks.
All right. What other questions are there? Feel free to verbalize them, and you can document after.
I'll ask a question. I'll type it in the chat. This is Josh. How is the search for the Chief People Officer going?
Sure. Dave's not on the call. He's running the search, but so I'm happy to give a quick update, or April, if you want to jump in either.
Yeah, I can if you would like. So we're still searching for the right fit, and we had a few candidates who had progressed along the process, but for one reason or another, we decided not to pursue them. So we are still accepting referrals. And to make it explicitly clear, we are open to any geographical location. We're not limiting our search according to that.
Cool, thanks.
I can elaborate a bit more on that, maybe. So far, I think we've had over 30 people who made it past interviewing with the recruiting agency. I think we had 2 or 3 people who made it past interviewing with me, and one candidate who interviewed with almost the entire exec team. So that got really close. but we're keeping a very, very high bar. And due to the great work that Dave and Carol have been doing, there's not that urgency to like, oh, we need this slot filled tomorrow. Like I think almost anybody, a lot of the chief people officers are like, okay, why are you hiring me? Is everyone walking away from the company? Do you have a big retention problem or something like that? And we're like, well, it's kind of the opposite. We're overperforming on most of the metrics we care about. So we're keeping the bar high and keeping our eyes and ears open.
Thanks, everyone. All right, any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, hey Rose, go ahead.
Hi, this is Rose, People Business Partner for Engineering. I see a lot of knowledge assessments passing, like on total rewards and on the competencies and that sort of things. I think these are great. Are we sort of keeping track of how many people do those? And are we going to share any data on that?
Josh, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yeah, so we haven't, we're still building out the competency knowledge assessments, and we should be launching those by the end of the week. And on the back end, we've, JC's put together some awesome spreadsheets of tracking what those metrics are. Since those have just launched, we haven't really had a ton of consumption on those yet. So I think once they're all out there, we'll just do a big communications push, get people to start taking them. And then from there, we could start pulling some metric data on the consumption of the knowledge assessments.
Awesome, cool. Thanks for working on this.
Yeah, super fun, so thanks.
I have a question. So one of the slides for diversity, inclusion, and belonging mentions that we increased ERG engagement activity. I was kind of wondering kind of what increases do we see and kind of what is our goal for what ideal ERG engagement activity looks like for GitLab?
What we would see the activity looking like globally would be, leadership engagement. We are appointing executive officers for each ERG, so that's another level of visible engagement from our leadership team, aligning them to what we feel like would be a great move and push and advocacy and voice that can be amplified by those leaders on that level. And additionally, maybe that will help to continue the engagement from team members themselves as a whole from that. Having that voice from the top down is critical in moving the movement forward beyond just the team members leading it itself.
And Candace, I think after the virtual contribute, ERGs saw more members join as well, which was great.
Yeah, so, to echo what Carol has mentioned, after we had our virtual contribute, we did see an increase in those numbers, and it was really great. We had one that doubled. We had other that, maybe increased a percentage here, a few percentages here. So, having those conversations and having people join the dialogue really, was instrumental to increasing the numbers.
Thanks, Candace. Okay,
I think I have,
yes.
Yeah, my name's Naritzi. I heard from one of my teammates that there used to be an unconscious bias training for everybody as they were onboarding. And I wonder if there's a way to make sure that all of us have, a base set of understanding about D&I related topics and, just like basic trainings as part of our everyday work. And maybe if we can identify, groups or teams that might benefit even more so because they're on the front lines. And so, I'm wondering if we have any plans for ramping that up besides just offering, things through ERGs.
Absolutely. We have some, if you go to the diversity, inclusion, and belonging page, we do have some past live trainings that we've had with Ally as well as inclusion. We have another one that is upcoming mid-June for bias. So thanks for even bringing that up. That will be upcoming. It'll be a live training. So after we have the live trainings, we leave them posted for teams or individuals to use and to understand. There are also additional resources and trainings and links. But we also have works and plans to, we're collaborating with our L&D team to have some on-the-shelf, off-the-shelf resources to enable leadership and team members to continue to have this baseline of understanding as you've spoken about. And also, for, we live in transparency here at GitLab. And so for external companies to be able to also utilize those resources.
Great, thank you.
I'm also adding my response, but we do have training as a part of interview training. So I'll link the issue template so you can see what training is involved with our interviewers.
Thanks both. And Yurtsi, is there anything that you've seen in your previous companies or what you've heard that we should consider in relation to this?
Yeah, so I'm part of the community relations team, and I run the GitLab for Open Source program. And within open source, there's a lack of diversity, oftentimes even superseding that of the regular tech world. And so at some of the communities that we've been to, that I've been part of, there have been things like, again, that are kind of more relevant to the community team, code of conduct training, or just in general, like, again, the unconscious bias. I've seen at some Google conferences, some really awesome talks shared from just how we even speak about diversity. A lot of times it's, I guess, along with the allyship training, but I think it's one thing to read about it and another thing to actually be in a workshop taught by an expert. And so I think that having more of those opportunities, especially for teams like the community team, would be really helpful. It's something that I actually just brought up in our meeting. But I think that for us, it would be important to secure, make sure that we have the right budget allocated and all that. So I think it would be great to hear from, or to have maybe the people team think more, consider proactively reaching out to certain teams and seeing how we can align and work together on implementing some of this stuff.
Great, thank you for that input. And definitely something I know Candace is working hard on the DIB initiatives, and it's always great to get some insights from the group. So we'll definitely be talking about that.
Yeah, awesome, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Simon, would you like to verbalize your question?
Yeah, it would be quicker than typing it and then asking. So it's on slide 9, which we've just been talking about. It said there's a KPI for underrepresented groups. I can't find that KPI. I've just been searching through some of the other links. Is it defined anywhere that we can see?
We are in the process of adding it. It hasn't been added as yet. It's something that came up a number of weeks ago with discussion. It's something Candace is working on.
Thank you. Cool.
Okay, maybe we'll give it another few seconds to see if there's any additional questions. And if not, we'll all take a few minutes back for our days. And okay, well, thanks to everybody for joining, and thanks to the people group for the prep for this group conversation, and look forward to the next one. Stay safe. Bye.